My name is Lok Pulivarthi, and my teammates are Anmol, Dhruva, Nachiket, Nagarjuna, and Praveen Kumar. And we are managing Code Judge, and our client is Philip Ritchie. This is the table of contents that we're going to be presenting today. The first is Introduction to Code Judge application, and the requirements, updated database and schema, and the features and their implementations, and the final product we delivered. Introduction. So Code Judge website is to help Texas A&M instructors to automate the creation and evaluation of programming assignments for their students. This is the legacy applications. And in order to improve the overall user experience, we have been tasked with implementing incremental changes to the existing Code Judge platform. And the overall requirements is and the major overall requirements is the language restrictions for problems, the ability to add multi-problem tags, and the dynamic problem difficulty based on student attempts, and user scoreboard and dynamic student rating, problem filtering based on tags and difficulty, and restricting problem edit privileges to author and admin privileges to edit and remove users, and adding more stats and attributes and improving UI for the entire platform. And this is the overall updated database schema that we had to cater to implement the multi-tags and the other implemented features required by the client. Language restriction for problems. In the instructor view, the instructor can add language restrictions while creating a problem. For instance, he could choose any of those language restrictions in the drop down below. For instance, CPP, which indicates C++. And once he add as language restriction as a C++ language for this problem, when a student is trying to attempt to submit a Python file for a C++ restricted language for a problem, he will be warned with a message at the top of the website stating that this problem has a language restriction enforced and the submission is only in C++. And the second feature is the ability to add multiple tags. From the previous team, they had not had multiple tags, and so we have been tasked with multiple tags in the problem creation. As you can see here, during the problem creation, we have been tasked with pop-ups able to add multiple tags. And the first one is BFS, and the second one is dynamic programming. And he can add more than 2 tags by clicking on Add Tags Prop. And as you can see in the overall instructor view in the problems page, the new problem is created with the tags BFS and dynamic programming. Dynamic problem difficulty based on student attempts. For this new problem, as you can see in the third problem, no tags are specified, and also the difficulty for that problem is NA, which means no attempts have been made. In the student view, incorrect submissions increase problem difficulty. As soon as the student submission is failed, in the problem difficulty, it's increased to 10. And as soon as the correct submissions are done by the students, the problem's difficulty is then decreased to 1, which is easier problem. Problem filtering based on tags and difficulty. As you can see in the first image, we have added difficulty as 6. As you can see, the results are filtered from the previous list to only show 6. And here we place difficulty as any and the tags as BFS only. And as you can see in the multi-tags, it is able to filter through one of the tags listed, which is Beam's page. As you can see here, we have displaying problem attributes such as tags, difficulty, language restriction, and status, user scoreboard, and dynamic student rating. The dynamic student ratings ranks students according to based on their ratings in descending order with their username. Provide individual test case feedback on submission. When a student successfully passes a test, we are successfully able to show that he has passed the test case, as well as he has failed the test case in a red ink. Provide individual test case feedback on submission, displaying stack trace in case of a compilation failure. When a student fails in passing the test case, we can show that the code has failed due to a compilation failure. Restricting problem edit privileges to author and admin. When creating a problem, the author can create a problem, but for edit privileges is only given to the author of the problem as well as the admin. No other professor or student has the right to edit the problem. Admin privileges to edit and remove users. Admin has a right to edit and remove users, and the users have the only ability or feature to register for the website. The admin can edit and remove them. Admin privileges to edit and remove users. Overall challenges and learnings. The challenges were the proper documentation for legacy code was severely lacking, and the incomplete and non-working RSpecs and Cucumber tests from the previous teams in the legacy code, and configuring the third-party services. Overall, all of these point to lack of documentations. And the learnings from these are Ruby on Rails. No one in our team is an expert in Ruby. We had severe challenges. Deploying to cloud platforms such as Heroku, BDDs such as Cucumber, agile methodology, using Scrum meetings for each iteration, architecture of coding platforms. Feel free to visit our website, and thank you. Logging in as the instructor. The credentials have already been registered. We're going to be creating a new problem. And writing the description. And we're going to be selecting the language restriction specifically for this problem and adding multiple tags. Second is math. And we're going to be adding test cases. And by making it visible, the student are able to view that test case. And we have just made the input 2 and the input 3 as a invisible for the students. And the problem has been created. As you can see here right now, the difficulty is NA, which means not available yet because there have been no submissions made. We have just logged out of the professor view and we're logging in as a student. Now this is the print power of 2 problem that was just created by the professor. And we're going to be submitting the wrong CPP, which is going to give us a failed test. And this has failed the test. And as you can see here, the difficulty has been changed to 10. And if you go to the ratings page, it would show that I have the lowest ratings. And we're going to submit with the correct CCP. CPP, C++ file, and it's loading. Now we have successfully passed all the test cases, and let's go to problems view. As you can see here, the problem now has a difficulty of 1, and the status shows passed for this specific student. And we're going to be looking at the ratings page, and as you have now seen, rank number 5 is the student Lokes that has a new difficulty of 10. Now we're going to be going to the filters page for problems, and we're going to be using tags filter for showing any type of tag such as BFS. And now we only have view of problems that only has tags with or has one of the tags as BFS. If it's array, we have problems, and for difficulty we have 1 to 10 or NA, and no problems with array tags have difficulty of 6. So now, but BFS, there's a problem that has a difficulty of 6, and we can click reset filters to reset to original settings. We're going to be logging out of the student view and logging in as the professor's view. And the problem now has a difficulty of 1 because the student successfully passed, and he is able to edit this problem because he was the one that created this problem and delete this problem as well. But if he goes to other problems, the one he is not the author of, he does not have the right to delete or edit a problem. Now we're going to be logging in as the admin. For admin, he has the view of users, and he can edit the users as well as delete the users. The admin can also edit the problems and all the problems, unlike the professor that has only the authored rights to a problem. And now we're going to be logging out and logging in as the instructor. And as you can see here, these are students added to a class, and these are the problems within the class. We're going to be creating a new class, demo or deep learning, and description as demo purposes, and create group. As you can see, the deep learning class has been created, and we're going to copy this code and log out and log in as a student. And we're going to enter the class code to join the class. And the class is created and we have joined the class. There are no problems within the class currently, and this is the other class, software engineering, that was previously joined by Lokes student. And we're going to log out and log in as a professor again and add problems to the class. the problem has been added successfully, and we can add students as well. And we're gonna log out of the professor and log in as a student. Log in as a student, and now as you can see, the problem has been added to the class. That's it. Thank you for the demo.